Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Wednesday, the 1st of January 2020. Isn't that exciting? I'm going to use the Cosmic Tarot for today's reading, and I want to wish you a really happy new year. I hope you had a lovely time last night, or if you're still going, I hope you're about to go to bed, or if you had an early night like I plan to have, then I hope you feel rested and wonderful. So let's see what the first is going to be about and how we can use today's energy to our advantage. That's the point of these readings. They apply to everyone who watches. They're for all signs of the zodiac. And I just asked the cards, what is the energy of Wednesday the 1st about? And how do we work with that? And I think these cards will be in reverse simply because I'm holding them upside down. So the other day I had the same thing and I turned them around and I read them this way around, but I forgot to turn them around at the end. So let's see if I remember today. Hopefully it does. That happening, first of all, is a symbol of something. That means something. What it means, this is the 1st of January 2020. And that thing I just experienced, I was able to rectify a mistake I'd made in the past. And I was able to fix it. Well, ideally, at the end of the reading, we'll see. I was able to resolve the problem and fix it by doing it both ways around today. So that immediately has caught my attention because this is a reading for Wednesday, the 1st of January, but it's also a reading for the first day of a new decade, of a new year. And this is really meaningful. So you will have the opportunity to make things right and to sort those things out so that you have a more positive outcome. And then we also have these cards which want to tell you a little message. And again, it is very clear that there's a pattern of love here. We've got love and dancing and movement and passion, and love being threatened by the evil queen. But the big theme is love. So today, ask yourself what it is you love, what it is you want to do with 2020 that's going to fill you with love. Ask yourself, what is it that I can do? How can I maximize my potential? And if I did dream of being a dancer as a child and I gave it up as an adult because I had to start paying the bills for the 2 kids and I took a job with British Telecom and the dancing went out the window. You know, we've all had experiences like that where life has really intervened, and it's our job to intervene ourselves and to fight back. The 9 of Cups is usually a pub landlord who sits there with 9 cups around him, and he is happy, he's fulfilled, he makes a ton of money, he shares his wealth with his friends, he's got rosy cheeks, he's well-intentioned, he's loving, he's caring, he's funny, he's gregarious, he's joyous, and he gives from the heart. This is someone receiving love and someone giving love, and it's just so natural that all these cups kind of become yellow and float up to the sky going, oh, as their love is consummated, because just it's something so beautiful and something so natural. She's got this beautiful yellow veil with these roses, so the passion is real and it's innocent and it's pure, and there's yellow everywhere. This is a joyous day, and it's a joyous year, and it's a joyous, really joyous reading. I mean, as far as these 3 cards go, it's so positive. We've got water, which is emotions and feelings and spirituality, and air, which is thinking and perspectives and the masks we wear and the sides of ourselves that we show people and the decisions that are right or wrong and all of those things. So first of all, the 9 of Cups means that you're able to love, whether it's a person or a business or yourself, you know that you're lovable, you know that you can have a business that you love and succeed. And you know that you can love yourself and have a relationship with another person if you want. It just becomes a reality and a truth. And all of the junk from the past, I'm not good enough, I'm unlovable. It's really easy today to use the Queen of Swords actual sword that she's holding and says, "Excuse me, Isabella, can I just borrow this for a second? I need to cut my behavior off so that I don't repeat it in 2020 the way I did in 2019. So we can really draw a line under this and replace negative things and mistakes with love and having our hopes and dreams come true and the sun rising and the sun shining on our lives. Look at her. Actually, she's receiving a kiss not only from the young man here, she's receiving a kiss from the sun and from the universe. And the cups are kind of applauding her love. And all she's doing is being receptive. She looks like a statue. So all you need to do is receive. That's a pretty good job. I'm telling you to do nothing except receive. As far as effort is concerned, that's a pretty nice bit of advice, I think. Do absolutely nothing. Just be willing to receive and all good things will come to you. It doesn't get much better. Then we have the Three of Cups. That's usually three women having a party and they enjoy themselves and they enjoy talking to each other. They enjoy being in each other's company. They have a little dance around because they build each other up. And when they're around, they have a fabulous conversation and it's funny and it's hilarious and they really have a good time and they celebrate that. In this case, we've got a couple who dance together. And it's interesting, actually, in Austria, I watched a film about back in the day when people immigrated to America and there was a circus performer couple and they did all of these balancing acts and tricks, and the relationship between the two performers, just from a skill level, there had to be so much trust involved in that relationship, because if he dropped her or vice versa, you could really injure yourself. Obviously, that kind of intensity and skill in working together, and look at how elegant they look. It's very much, these are pros. The legs, the actual silhouette, the figures themselves. That relationship is likely to start becoming something more. 3 in numerology is new beginnings and communication. So if you have relationships in your life already where skill is involved, so if you work as a painter, or if you're a psychologist, or if you work as an engineer, a judge, you have a matchmaking service, anything that you already have a discipline with, that could be your meditation practice as well. You're able to really start afresh with that because you're making space by getting rid of the negatives, letting your hopes and dreams be realized, and naturally honing your existing skills and working with the things that you already do love in your life. Here, they're floating up. They've been returned to you. You're working with the things that you love. So whether it's dancing with your partner professionally, or whether it's going out with your girlfriends and having drinks at the Ritz, or whether it's deliberately having a quiet night in on New Year's Eve and on New Year's Day. It's the one day of the year where you take a hike up the Dragon Wall, and you do that every year, and that's your personal ritual, and it gets your mind right for the year. You climb this mountain, this really steep wall of this really steep mountain in the Alps, and by conquering that, for you it's a ritual that symbolizes, I've overcome this mountain, I will overcome the mountains in my life. And those mountains, we know, can come in many different forms and guises. So it can be a betrayal, so an emotional bump in the road. It can be a job loss. It can be someone leaving and moving on to the next stage of their journey. It can be death, basically. I don't need to euphemize it. Sorry. Let me just continue. And the main themes in your life, you're able to really make a fresh start with those and really hone your skills and make significant decisions. You see this triangle pointing down, and Gemini, because you're informed by spirit, you're asking yourself, how can I fill a life that is full of joy? How can I create a life that has Edelweiss in it and that's pure and that's lovely? So that information comes in through spirit, and Gemini is a doorway of communication. So by communicating with spirit, you'll be able to get that happy info that you can implement to make a fresh start and to move ahead with these new enterprises and new things that you love and new relationships, that you can move forward with them and really make yourself the queen of those situations. So if it's a loving relationship, wow, I am now married to this woman and we have this wonderful life, and I wanted the best in relationships and in love, and I am truly with my twin flame here, and I got the opportunity to marry her, and every day I thank the powers that be that I get to take care of this woman and that I get to love her and nurture her and have her in my life, for example. So the Queen of Swords doesn't have to be an evil queen who's jealous of the people outside kissing. She's actually someone who permits that kind of thing and enables it, because she's running a regime that's all about having peace and nurturing the unassuming, pure, beautiful things in life. You know, this isn't like a really vulgar and huge rose or plant or some sort of flower that takes up all the space. This is a tiny little pure innocent flower, and that dove of peace is very, very, very stationary, and it kind of represents peace and love and extending an olive branch and all of that. And then she's wearing this watch. She's disciplined. She knows what's going on. So this isn't like it's behind her back. She doesn't know about it. When she finds out, she's going to cut their heads off. Her decision making allows relationship to occur. So you're going to be able to make much better decisions in your love life in 2020. First of all, realize that your hopes and dreams have been very apparent to you on the 31st and here on the 1st. In terms of the astrology, the moon has been in Pisces, so it's been very dreamy, and you probably wouldn't have wanted to do very much in a practical sense, but rather dream of the possibilities. So look at what you love. Look at how you can make a fresh start with what you love, who you love, how to extend and improve a loving situation that's in your life, how to bring beautiful things into your life and how to create beauty. And you will download the decisions that you need to make to really find something that is long-lasting and pure and true, and that's not demanding, that is just something that's in your life and that feels very natural. Thank you, Birdie, tweeting while I was saying that. Yeah, it's like just a bird flying by and singing and bringing you joy in your life, but it's something that you nurture as a very, very private thing. The example I can give is Liz Taylor. Okay, she's with Richard Burton. She's got the Burton Taylor diamond on, and it's this huge ring. And she's at a party, and apparently a woman at the other table says, "Oh, there's Liz Taylor again with her vulgar rings. They're just so big. It's just atrocious." So Liz heard this, And she goes over and she said, would you like to try on my ring? And the lady does. She tries it on, and Liz says to her, it's not so vulgar now, is it? So that's the one version where you would be creating something that is over the top but wouldn't last. Whereas in another example, it could be a relationship like Alicia Silverstone and her husband. She was in Clueless in the 90s. She's been in series after that, and she's been in the public eye. But somehow she's really kept her private life private somehow, and she's nurtured it, and it's normal and it's healthy according to her. And it's something that people don't show a lot of interest in, because if you work at something, if people see that you work at something, a relationship, a poster, a building, anything, people are gonna, well, most people will leave you alone and will leave you to it to do this wonderful thing. In my experience, people identify and recognize skill when they see it, and they let people get on with it once they see that the other has a talent. So if you see someone who sings very well in your family, of course you would recognize that, and you want the best for that person, and you'd say, do something with your voice and experiment and see how you find it and what makes you happiest using your voice, because you've really been given something here. It's something that you can learn to love about yourself. Or you've been given a partner, or you've been given a wonderful business you love, or you've been given a wonderful connection with spirit. All of us have received talents and gifts that we can use to thrive here on planet Earth. And this year and on this day, your hopes and dreams can come true if you dream them. If you allow yourself to actually dream big, you will have the skill to implement those hopes and dreams, because you make the right decisions, you see things clearly, and you have overcome the errors of your past. And now you're going to do it properly. You're going to try again, and you're not going to repeat the same patterns. Water flows quite quickly, doesn't it? But air flows much quicker. So your thinking has improved. As soon as something's wrong, you're going to recognize it. So when you get guidance that comes from your ego, that's screaming in your ear saying, you've got to get with this guy because he loves you, and if you don't get with him, you'll be alone for the rest of your life and you'll never love again. Do it now. Then you know that's from the ego, because it fills you with terror. And the higher self-guidance is always going to be calm and quiet, and it's going to be repetitive, and it's going to say, you did love the piano when you were 5, and then when you picked it up again at 15, and at 21 when you played it for 3 years at the piano bars, and then you left. So if something has been in your life for a while like that, and it's being neglected, this is the time to resurrect a love that no longer is, to create a new love. And you can trust your feelings and your thinking, because you're being guided by spirit, and you're the queen. So you're the queen. You rule the element of air. You're not governed by it. You govern it. So the queen actually has power in the tarot. She rules the element of air. She makes the right decisions. She is the judge, jury, and not the executioner. Earth would be the executioner, but she's the judge and the jury. She knows how to create beautiful buildings. She's inspired. She's clever. She is beautiful. She looks like Isabella Rossellini. That's why I call her Isabella. And she's just the kind of woman or man that all of us want to be. Clever, in control of our feelings, logical, reasonable, rational, able to resolve a problem when it comes through applying your intellect and actually just saying A, B, and C don't make sense. D, E, F do, so that is much more likely, and let's investigate and let's talk to everyone and see what really happened, and let's do things properly. And that's what you'll find that is given to you in 2020, that you will fall in love. That's guaranteed for all of us, thank goodness. We're going to fall in love with something, and combined with our logic and our brains, our hearts and our minds combined can create anything that we want. So it all starts with love, and that's the best start we can possibly have, because from love comes more love and more love and more love. In a practical sense, it's two people, a man and a woman, and children starting to be born. But other couples radiate an energy like Zelda and Scott Fitzgerald, who radiated this energy of wherever they were, that was the place to be. And if they visited a place, then immediately it was the it place, and the business would be completely transformed because all the cool customers would arrive, just because that magic wonder couple had graced the restaurant with their presence. Number-wise, we have 9 and a quote card which counts as 1. That's 10 and 3, 13. 1 and 3 is 4, and 4 is stability and structure and security. It's Saturn in astrology. It's Capricorn in astrology. It is the Emperor in the tarot. It's a leader sitting on a stone throne. So by using your intellect and your emotions, by combining your heart and your mind and letting yourself fall in love, you're not taking a risk. By doing it, you're creating security in your life. And it feels counterintuitive, because why would I get into a relationship and create stability in my life when the last 84 relationships I've been in, I've been dumped, and I dumped them and I was left crying and screaming? Why on earth would it work now? It would work now because you have changed the way you love, and you're thinking clearly, and you're not going to repeat the mistakes of the past. And that example can apply to 1,000 other examples. Have faith and trust that now that you're doing something differently, you're going to get a different result. And trust that you are different, because you've been given a gift of love. I mean, we could have had completely other cards, but we've got hopes and dreams coming true, friendships, new beginnings, having fun and laughing, and governing and ruling an entire element and being in charge. So the men watching, you're not queens, you're the kings, okay? It doesn't matter in this case. The king and queen represent mastery of communication, innovation, inspiration, logic, reason, deduction, analysis, and filling in forms and opening doorways of opportunity and raising cathedrals. It's very much an asset in your life. The Queen of Swords in reverse means that you're unable to make decisions. You don't look to the future, therefore you have very little interaction with other people. And that kind of behavior is going to result in your hopes and dreams not coming true. But the reality is that you bring this focus and this clarity into your life, and then you turn everything around and you're able to leave it in the past, rather than creating a lot of junk and negativity in your future by doing things and making decisions that you have no clue about. So only let that sword come down, and only pursue things that resonate in your heart and in your mind. And when I mentioned the things earlier to differentiate between the higher self guidance and the ego guidance, if it's been repetitive and it makes you feel loved and calm and like you should do it, go for it. If it's stressful and it screams in your ear that you'll miss this opportunity, that's the kind of thing to avoid. So as long as you do that, you turn this over and you can draw a line under that and have fabulous relationships this year. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful start to this new year, to this wonderful new decade. Someone in the comments called it the soaring 20s and the roaring 20s. So let's see which one it is. I'm really, really excited. It's the beginning of something completely new. When I was a kid, 2020, there were films with it. Whenever they went to the future, it was 2020. It seemed so far away. And now we're here. And we're not driving around like the Jetsons just yet, but things certainly have changed with the way we can communicate with one another and with the way we can connect with people that we weren't able to connect with before. You know, the internet age, we were able to connect with people in our circle, and we traveled and we met people like that. But now you can meet someone online and you can come from different parts of the world. I mean, the world has opened up so much, and we're here at this time for a reason. So have a wonderful start to the year. Trust your feelings and your thinking today. They are on point. Have a great time. If you'd like a personal reading with me, and this is obviously a good time to have a personal reading, because if you want to look at what the year holds for you specifically, we can have a look at your transits to see what's coming up. Or if it's your birthday around this time, we can do a solar return chart and draw up an exact chart for exactly what will happen for you this year and what the big themes are. If you're at a crossroads, if you're deciding to change your job, or if you want to know what your life purpose is, what's happening in love, or where you should live, and what's the ideal money kind of activity for you, if you've got questions about health and spiritual development, past lives, I can answer any of those questions. So if you are interested in a reading with me, please head over to gregoryscott.com. Click on the Book Your Readings Now button on the front page, and you'll be able to order your reading there. In the shop, once you're in the shop, you'll see the Gregory Scott Tarot as well. And that, for some reason, was labeled as out of stock. That I fixed that and removed that because it never was in stock. So that's inaccurate. We're completing it, and then they're going to be printed. We have to have the designs done first before we print it. So the stock had never been created. So that's been removed, and it just says Gregory Scott Tarot to be published in September 2020, coming soon. So if that has caused any confusion, I just wanted to clear that up. You see, another opportunity already to do something again in the past that didn't work, and to resolve it. That's the second time I didn't set this up. I've done that the second time in this reading, and I didn't do it on purpose. That means something. It means that you get a do-over in those situations, especially where love is concerned. So I'm super excited for you. I hope you have a wonderful time. Get in touch with me for a personal reading via the website. Please hit the subscribe button if you like this video, and share the video online so that other people can see this as well, because it's good news, right? We want to share the love. We want to share the good news, because final thing before I let you go, I don't want to go on too much, but let's say you go to a psychic when you're 12, and the psychic tells you you're going to be a very rich woman with 8 children, and you're going to be in charge of many companies, but you'll never work and have an easy life. It's just going to be fabulous. You, as this little girl, then end up as that woman. How much of that was prophecy, and how much of that was you believing it and manifesting it for yourself? Because that is the question when it comes to divination and looking at the future. Is it a self-fulfilling prophecy that you actually create because you believed in it and heard it? Or was that going to happen anyway, and it was written on your forehead and you didn't have any free will, and the psychic was right? And that's what fascinates me with this. And it's such a useful tool to clarify, and if your life and your future seems nebulous and foggy at the moment in any way, this is the time to have a reading, because you're meant to have the clarity and the focus, and then to be able to bring that sword down and to get rid of the negative stuff and leave it. The only part of this reading that you need to see really is this southwest corner, the happiness and the dove of peace. Everything that comes before it is left behind. Have a great day. Check out some of my other videos, the yearly horoscopes for each sign of the zodiac. Check out the weekly horoscopes for all signs of the zodiac. And hopefully I will have January 2020 for each sign of the zodiac up soon as well. So look out for that. Have a great day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.